1 2, a 1 2, a microphone check. 1 2. All right. So I was watching YouTube as I do because I don't watch TV, and I saw this excerpt on what's going on with the Essence Fest, and you know, and how people went to the city council to basically say, "Hey, what they're doing is wrong." They can't, you know, blockade us from what we've been doing throughout the year, and then they show up. But in the background was somebody holding up a Palestine is a local issue sign. A couple people were. Now I don't know if they were Palestinian. I have no idea. But what I know is they held up the sign, and I read that. I was like, how do I look at that? Palestine is a local issue. How do I look at that as one, an American, two, an African American, three, as a citizen, four, as someone who used to be a soldier, in the US military? I don't want to say this because there's not a lot of people are going to check this video out, but I wanted to throw in my, 2 cent on it. The territory of Palestine and Israel and so on and so forth doesn't have a lot to do with African Americans. As a matter of fact, it has nothing to do with us, unless, as usual, we are thrown into a war that we didn't start, which happens all the time. We have nothing to do with it. So when it comes to Black people and how we look at it, we go, it's not really my issue. And it sounds callous, but there's a lot going on here in America where African Americans have been, under the same tyranny that it's going on over there. It's all coming, stemming from the same people, and there were no Palestinians to be found. There were, there were no signs that what's going on with Black people is our issue. We didn't see that. We didn't see them taken to the streets for us. So we don't really have a dog in your fight. But it's not like we don't care. So let's be careful. We just don't really know where to stand on it. So when it comes to human rights, we're all for human rights. You notice that, the scuffles that, Black people have with each other, the infighting and all that stuff that goes on with them. We don't go around and we're just gonna, blow up the whole world because of, one thing or another. Uh, Now we do have our craziness. It's not saying we don't. But the things that's going on with Israel and Palestine is kind of to the point of, where is it going to end? You know what I mean? And we as, me as a Black citizen of America, I don't know where it's going to end. I don't see no end to it. If you're like, this is my territory, I let you guys come in here and, take, you know, part of the land so you can get yourself up and going again. And then all of a sudden you just totally abscond with my land. Uh, Now I want you out of my land, but you're like, no, we're not going to leave. I think that's how it goes. It's not really my business until you said it was a local issue. Now you're trying to make it my business. You want to know what I think about it. You want to know why am I not marching for it? See, it was your business when it was over there and it was happening to you. But when you're at an essence, a complaint about Essence, which is a Black event. This is a Black event. And you're holding up signs in the camera saying Palestine's a local issue. Now you're focusing on us. The majority of people there are Black. Essence is Black. Now you're coming for us. You're like, why aren't you guys doing anything about it? Well, you guys didn't do anything about our issues. Not one thing, not one thing that I know of. Now, somebody may come along and say, hey, the Palestinians did this when, the African Americans, and I would be like, thank you for that information. But to, as far as I know, it's not widespread known that you guys came out of the woodworks for us. It's not. It's just not. And we're still going through it. We still get arrested more than anything. We still got police brutality ending our lives, ending our wives, our children, our mothers. They're just deading them. I mean, they're just shooting in the cars. Women and infants, babies who can't even say mommy, and they're getting shot. I mean, it's really crazy over here. Not one word from Palestine. Not one word. So when you bring it to our doorstep, just know this: unless you can show us that you've done something for us, we're going to stay out of it. It's not a local issue to us. There's 40 million African Americans over here. 40 million of us. That is a significant number. You can't say it's a local issue for 40 million African Americans. You just can't, because you did nothing while we're going through it, and we're still going through it. Now, you may have marched a couple times. Okay, I haven't really seen Palestinians marching for black people. So if you marched, we don't know about it. You went out there and, try to defund the police in our name. We don't know about it. So if I were the Palestinians over here, I would say this is what we did for African Americans. I would bring it up. I would. Because when you start showing us what you did for us, then you might get something out of us other than it is a human rights issue. Now, if I was a human rights lawyer, would I fight for Palestine? 100%. Would I go to Palestine? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Would I step foot in Israel, to stop the wars, or I absolutely would not do it. But if I could do something over here in the judicial system and stop the long arm of war that is reached down over there, then yes, I would. I would do it 100%. I would. I don't know if I could. I don't think anybody can, because this is war profiteering. This is war profiteering 100%. The United States needs war to operate. So they will back somebody who is at war with somebody else for their own interest. They want to use munitions. They want to run tests. They want to see what blows up what and how it blew you up, when it blew you, how long did you stay blowing up? Can you recover from it? They're doing all kind of guinea pig, you know, stuff over there. And that's why they do this stuff. So can 40 million people uh come out and at a hue and cry and make America stop what they're doing, as far as back in Israel? And no, we cannot. We cannot. I mean, can we send money over there? And we cannot. So when you say it's a local issue, this is what we think. What can we do? All we can do is cry about it on YouTube. We might be able to go to a couple state reps, might go to the House representative or something. But the truth is, we can't do nothing about war because this is how America is ran. And that's just the truth. Now, when you guys come over here and you're struggling, and you were our allies when we had issues, then 100%, we can try to help you wherever we can. But you got to understand, Black people are in a war wherever country we go to. We're still at war. Even in our own countries, they war with us. We can't go throughout Europe and just willy-nilly around. We can't even go to a lot of places in America. There's places where I've been and they say, "You don't belong here." And I left. There are FedEx drivers who are black saying, "Hey, people are telling me I can't deliver in this town." There are sundown towns still here in America we can't go to. There are missing people in Mississippi, 230 of them found in a graveyard that nobody knew about with no headstones. So when we hear Palestinians making noise about that, then we're like, okay, I see you, Palestine, but but this is here in America. You know what I'm saying? This is here in America. I don't know what we can do about Israel and Palestine being at war. It's a land dispute, is what it is. And it should have been handled through the law. That's what it should have been handled by. Because for what little I know about it, it looks like it's a landlord issue. You had land, you let a certain group of people who were pretty much down and out, on that land, and you let them flourish. And then once they got to a, fever pitch, they pretty much took it over. But they didn't do it by themselves. They did it through the strong arm of the US military. And no one on the planet can stand up to the United States military. No one. No one. So exactly what you want us to do, I don't know. But as far as human rights, I do feel for you. Now, I don't know what all I've seen is true. I don't really follow your story that much, Palestine. I want to say that. And I'm not going to because I feel helpless. I feel helpless. And, I'm poor. So as far as giving money to you, that's not going to happen. I mean, I'm in my one bedroom apartment, you know, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I got my situation I got to worry about and keep my head above water. And it's just me. I have no one to run to except, maybe one or two family members when when it hits. But it's just, I don't really have a lot of options. You know what I mean? But I do think it's a travesty and a tragedy of what's happening if all of what we see on TV is true, which we don't really know. So I just wanted to speak on that because you came to the essence, in New Orleans, you came to the hue and cry that was about essence, and you put up signs saying that it's a local issue. You aimed that at black people. And for any Palestinian that hears this and gets upset about it, your people came to us and put it in our face. So if any of you men out there are upset about what I said, you came to us. I'm a black man. You came to Essence. It's a black event. And you wanted everybody to see it. Well, I saw it. And this is my opinion. Unless you were local, then maybe I might be able to help you some kind of way. I don't really know. But I'm poor. Maybe. You know, could I buy you a sandwich? Absolutely. Buy you a sandwich. I don't mind. You know, one of you. I'll buy one of you a sandwich. Absolutely. What do you want? I'll get you, I'll get you a good sandwich. I don't know what you guys eat. I don't know what you guys eat, so some of the stuff we eat is offensive to you. But tell me what you like, and I'll get you a sandwich in a whatever you drink. That I'll do. Maybe one of you, maybe two, maybe two. That's all I can afford. I'm poor. That I can do. But anything outside of that, I'm sorry, there is just not much I can do. And I don't think there's much black people want to do. I think black people want to stay out of any war as much as possible, unless they are already in the US military. Now, I'm going to say this before I go. Nobody's here anyway. I was a soldier, and I was in during one of the wars going to the Middle East. We're always warring with the Middle East. We're about the war with Iran, which is ridiculous. But fortunate for me, the Lord blessed me so where I did not go over to war once war was declared, which was Desert Storm. Shortly after that, I was out of the military. Now, there's a few reasons why I'm glad I didn't go. For one, I wanted to go because my best friend went, who was in my unit. So I went to his captain, said, "Take me with you." And he said, "I can't out process you fast enough." But my friend told me years later, he said, "Man, as soon as we low crawled out of the airplane and the guy beside me stood up and I stood up and he got, unalive right in the head, right in front of him." And that I'm thinking would have been me because that was my homie. Another thing is, I don't really want to, take a weapon and point it at somebody, and it's not really my thing. I'll wrestle with you now. I'll pin you down, but I'm not really with the, taking someone's life. Especially, I don't really know what's going on. And that's what soldiers do. We really don't know, especially African Americans. We're not really mad at somebody that much. It's like, who are we? I don't know who even is. It's somebody from another race saying, "Hey, go over there and shoot, do this to this person and commit this heinous crime that's completely against the Bible." We're like, why? What they do to me? Black people don't really. We don't walk down the street and think that a Muslim is going to do something to us. We just don't. We don't. We think black people's going to do something to us. We just don't look at the Muslim and go, "Oh." Mm-hmm. But we'll look at another black person and be like, "Oh, mm-mm." Because that's who usually does something to us, black people. I just wanted to say, Palestine, I think it's terrible what's going on over there, and I hope it stops. I just don't know how. I can say be in prayer, but that's all I got on that. That's all I got.